Microsoft is in a unique situation. They're looking to find ways to bolster their first-party roster, and the easiest way to go about doing that is to acquire companies. Now, to all of you who think that EA is going to be the solution to this, you're nuts. That purchase is never happening for a number of reasons, but today I'd like to look at a few studios that I think are prime candidates to be acquired by Microsoft in the near future. Hello there, I am Musty Hobbit, and there's something that a Hobbit loves more than another helping of Second Breakfast, so welcome back. Bit of a different look today. I've shifted the room around a little bit, so I'm going to try and get you the same kind of good angles that I'm used to giving you. But today we are talking about acquisitions by Microsoft. There's a lot of rumors going around, or speculation, or op-ed pieces that are alluding to potential purchases that Microsoft could be making. And for the most part, I think a bunch of them are a bunch of baloney. There's no way that EA is getting bought by Microsoft. Those are two major companies. I just don't see that happening. However, Microsoft certainly does need to pick up some studios, pick up some people who are going to make either exclusives for the system, or in the case of Mojang with Minecraft, is going to make a game that is going to perform the best on the Xbox family of consoles and PC. So let's go ahead and dive in. I have three ideas, three companies that I think would be good acquisitions. Now, things that I considered going into this are gaps in Microsoft's current portfolio. Microsoft has historically been known as the guns and cars console, and I want to try to diversify that a little bit. So some of these may be a little off the wall, but I feel like, well, one of them might be off the wall. The other two I feel like would be good fits just because of the pedigree for these studios. So let's start with a weird one. I think that Maxis, it is currently an EA studio, but that doesn't mean that EA might not want to offload them. As of this point, the last that we really heard from Maxis was SimCity 4, and it kind of got like a lot of stuff. I feel like I'm going to be dumping on EA, which I suppose most of you probably don't care. But they've run a lot of developers into a bad situation. I feel like you could take Maxis, put that under the Microsoft Studios banner, and kind of resurrect that whole generation of simulation style games. The Sims obviously would be a logical fit. You could get your Sim City, Sim Earth, Sim Ant, Sim Copter, Sim Tower, like all of that sort of simulation thing would work great. You could get a theme park and hospital, and all of those things could sort of come along for the ride. But Maxis would be a great provider both on the PC front and on the Xbox platform. I feel like there have been some very good sim-style games historically on Microsoft consoles, and I think that this would be a good fit with a genre that really doesn't get enough representation nowadays and is kind of on the verge of a reawakening, maybe a bit of a simulation renaissance, so to say. The next studio is one that's a little bit bigger. Not a ton of franchises, though. One of the big things when you're acquiring a company is that you do, in most cases, acquire the intellectual property along with it. So the goal would be to get a company that's got a lot under their belt. So I think that Gearbox would be an excellent purchase for Microsoft for a few of their primary franchises. The biggest one being Borderlands. I think that Borderlands, being a multiplayer-focused shooter, hits Microsoft's MO perfectly. They have a stable online infrastructure, and I think that Borderlands would be great to sort of continue even as an Xbox exclusive. I think that would be an interesting move. The other thing that would come along for the ride with Gearbox is the Brothers in Arms series. You would also get Duke Nukem, which again fits the Xbox profile pretty well. The last one, and this is more of a hope and dream than anything else, I think Bioware needs to cut ties with EA. I think Microsoft would be the perfect landing spot for Bioware and everything that would come along for the ride. I think that now is the time, and Microsoft would look so good making this move, and B, executing on it, and getting Bioware franchises back to where they used to be. Now, Mass Effect was the low point. Dragon Age was, hasn't dipped like that, but keeping you've got your Mass Effect, your Dragon Age, maybe Jade Empire comes back. You could even bring back Baldur's Gate and get some CRPG. There's a lot that's there's games that are leaning back toward that in the console space, and maybe a Baldur's Gate revival would be a good way to do that. Not sure about licensing or where the Forgotten Realms stuff kind of sits at this point, but if Bioware has any of that in hand, like, that would be a wise choice. In general, I feel like if Microsoft were to not only bring Bioware in, label them Microsoft Studios going forward, and get it back to the golden age of Bioware, I feel like that goes a long way. Anthem, Anthem would come along too. That's a weird one, right? Because that's if an acquisition like that happened, you would definitely release Anthem on everything that it's been announced. You could go nuts and just say, hey, you know what, Anthem is now going to be an Xbox exclusive. We're going to craft it specifically for that system, and an online infrastructure that is superior and stable. I feel like that would be a good thing. I think that's where we're going to stop here today, right? So we got Gearbox, Bioware, Maxis. 2 of those are EA properties, but I could see them letting go of it for the right price. I think that is more likely than an EA purchase. The concept of a $35 billion company being bought by a $115 billion company doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I could see them plucking away certain studios and saying, you know what, you guys weren't managing this studio very well as it is. Perhaps, if Visceral would have, somebody would have been able to pick up Visceral and take them, or there's a lot of studios that have kind of wilted and died under EA, and I think that let's not go after all of EA, but let's grab some pieces. One parting thought, I think that Microsoft needs to get somebody in-house who can do a baseball game and a football game, and bring back the Xbox Sports Network line of games. Baseball is the big lacking piece. If you want a baseball game right now, your options are arcade versions, like RBI Baseball, or MLB The Show for PS4. That is it. Due to the way that the licensing went with 2K, who now just doesn't make baseball games either. That needs to come back. We need baseball. I think that would be a huge grab if Microsoft can resurrect that. And they don't need to come up with a competitor for Madden, but at least something to keep Madden honest, I think would also be good. But I don't know who that is. I don't know how that looks. I don't know if 2K lets go of the 2K Sports moniker and lets those studios slide over to Microsoft. Who knows? I think a lot will be revealed in the coming months. I think that E3 is where some of this stuff gets announced for good, but I am really looking forward to all of that. I'm really optimistic on what Phil Spencer is capable of doing. I think already the announcement of the PlayFab acquisition is kind of a sign that we're starting to move in this direction, and I hope that bundled with the Game Pass stuff, which I talked about last week, really kind of helps accelerate the growth of the Xbox platform, which is still performing on par with the prior systems based on where they were at this point in time into their life cycle. I'm looking forward to 2018 for Microsoft and beyond that. I'm really hoping that a lot of this stuff happens, that a few studios get grabbed up, become first party, and we move forward. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think there is a studio out there that maybe is smaller, maybe an indie studio like an MDHR that might be worthy of getting grabbed up, or at least get some funding for some first party exclusive titles? Let me know in the comments. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. As always, Second Breakfast comes back every Thursday with a new thought piece, just like this one. And again, check out for Cartridge Club content now. will be back on Monday and every Monday for the foreseeable future. Please like the video if you did, and subscribe if you're not already, because I have some big plans for some things, some collection highlights, things like that coming in the near future. So please hit that subscribe button. It would do me a solid, and I hope to see you in future weeks for future videos. Anyways, I'm going to leave you there. I have been Musty. Take care of yourself. Be good to each other. Bye.